Hi Danielle, this is Miss Smith, your English 165 online instructor for summer 2017. Hope that you are doing well. The purpose of this video is for me to give you feedback on the key sections you submitted for the semi-formal report. Now in this feedback, I am not looking closely at content or grammar, but I am looking at organization, and I am looking at structure of your key sections, and I'm also looking for any issues that could be plagiarism issues. Okay, I want to help you spot and fix those should it be an issue. Okay, all right, so let's get started. So you've given me a little bit more than what I've asked for. I've asked for 4 sections, but I see here that you have your letter of transmittal, which is fine. It looks like you may be laying out the document in the order in which the section should appear, and that makes perfect sense. So let's look at your letter of transmittal. The first thing that I notice is that your font size is too large. So remember, your font should be 11 or 12 point for regular body text. So all of this and all throughout your report, when you're just including regular body text, it should be 11 or 12 point size font. Okay, so you want to reduce that similar to the way that I just did it. Okay, and make sure that is true in all of your document. Okay. And now that does not include, of course, major headings or subheadings. You can adjust the sizes of those to be a little bit larger. But your body text, your regular text, should be only 11 or 12 point in size. Okay? And so I see that this moved itself up. I'll show you how to fix that in just a minute. But in terms of your letter, the top part of it looks really good. You have your header portion, you have your date line, you have your inside address. But you are missing a salutation, right? Who is this going to? Now you have it in the inside address, but you want to address me. So you want to put Dear Miss Smith, something along those lines, okay? I am just at quick glance seeing some conciseness issues and some mild grammar issues. Again, I'm not looking for that right now in this review. Things are just jumping out to me. And so I think I've offered to you before for you to talk with me a little bit more detail on ways to improve your grammar and tighten your writing. I haven't heard from you yet, Danielle, so I'm hoping that maybe early next week you'll be able to get in touch with me so that we can talk about this, okay? Now, your letter is not complete though, because you end with sincerely, but then there's no type name at the end, so you want to make sure you fix that. But in terms of the structure of everything, it does look like you have the basic information that you need for this letter of transmittal, okay? And so whenever we reduce the size of the letter of transmittal, the other section on the other page, or the other text on the other page, instantly moved up. Here's how you can fix that. If you put your cursor at the beginning of the information that you want on the other page, and this usually works, and go to Insert, Page Break, it should automatically move it to the next page. Okay? And so ideally, even if you move stuff around on this page, it should always start this next section on a new page because you've put a break in there. Okay, and so this is your cover page, and again we can just do insert page break, and hopefully Word will cooperate with us. There we go. And let's just check our major headings just to make sure that they're consistent. And so we have table of contents, it's italicized as you have it, Calibri 24 with the line underneath it. Okay, so all of them should be the same. Italicized, this is Calibri 26. Okay, this one was 24, right? Now this one is 26. So even though it's a subtle difference, it's not consistent. And you want to make sure that you are consistent. Your credibility is tied in a lot of ways to your consistency. Okay, so make sure that you have everything the same for all your major headings. It should be the same font, the same style, be it italicized or not, the same size. Okay, and so we'll just look at the other one since we're checking. Okay, and so this is 26 Calibri italicized. All right, this is the same. And we're just checking them. This is what you want to do before you submit your final draft to me. And recommendations and references. And this one is back to 24. So just make sure that they're all consistent in size, okay? Because it looks like the other things you have are consistent, okay? Alrighty, table of contents. Now I see you have page numbers down for your table of contents, but there are no page numbers in your document that I can see, and that's going to be problematic. So you want to make sure that you put page numbers in your entire document, and you can start numbering at the very first page of the document, which is the letter of transmittal. That's perfectly fine. You just want to make sure that whatever pages that you have on your table of contents, that they are correct. So if you tell me your abstract is on page 5, but I find your abstract on page 4, that's going to be a credibility issue, right? You're going to lose points for that. And so just make sure that your table of contents, that it's consistent. But to add page numbers, what you want to do is go to Insert, and then you want to go to Page Number. And then you can select whether it's at the top of the page or the bottom of the page. Let's say we do bottom of the page, for example. And then you just select the look that you want, and it will put the page numbers in. And if you have to move pages around, it will make sure that your page numbers are still accurate, right? That it's going in the right order. Okay, your list of illustrations, again, you want to make sure your page numbers are correct, because I am going to check, and make sure there are page numbers throughout your document. So the abstract, again, this should not be a size 14. You want to reduce that size to 11 or 12. And I'm looking for you to say I recommend in this paragraph, but you have actually told me pretty much what you recommend. I still would prefer if you say I recommend that anyone who is interested in this career field, blah, 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 right? Just to make sure that that is stated clearly as a recommendation, okay? But it is a good start for that. You have your purpose statement. Now here, this caught my eye, LPNS. It looked like it was just an incorrect spelling of something. Should that be capitalized? And what does that mean? That seems like jargon to me. I'm an English major, a journalism major. I don't necessarily know what LPNS means. And so perhaps write it out so that your reader understands what you're talking about. And I'm assuming that it should not be all lowercase. It should be in capital letters. So take a look at that. Your industry background, it looks like you have a source here from Best Choice and Registered Nurses. And one thing I will say is with your in-text citation, your period, your punctuation should go at the end of the in-text citation, okay? And so the in-text citation ends the sentence. So the period goes at the end, and the same is true here. The period should be here and not here. So just make sure you make those changes throughout your document. Now, we'll go back and look at this later, but I should have a full citation for Best Choice, and I should have a full citation for Registered Nurses. Because I have in-text citations for both of these, there should be full citations for both of these on your Works Cited page. Okay? And I think I told you this in your visuals assignment, but your table in and of itself looks really good. Okay, you can fix some of the spacing here. Do you see that? Just to kind of make it neater, something along those lines. Okay, all right, so with your discussion section, again, we don't need the extra space. I know, listen, it's 2 to 4 pages that you have to write, and a lot of times students will try to make that 2 pages go as long as they can because they find it hard to get to 2 pages. But this is 2 pages in a college course, right? You can do it. You've got it. If you have to add other sections in addition to some of the outline information that I gave you, then do that. I want to know what you saw and what you experienced during your job shadow. So you're limiting yourself in your report if you just stick to what I've given you. That was never the intent of it. I want you to inject into your report what you saw your contact person doing, what you observed. That's how I know that you completed the job shadow. So if you're having a problem getting to those 2 pages, just make sure that you include other information that you came up with, okay, from your job shadow. And so that looks better than the extra space. And of course, like I said before, you want to make sure that you reduce the size of this. So 14 will not fly. 12 is what I'm looking for, 11 or 12. Okay? And again, just go back and fix some of the spacing issues. Okay? And so we could leave that extra space there actually. But just make sure that the spacing is correct. Okay? Now I see an in-text citation here for Beacon Regis. And because it's in parentheses at the end, I'm going to assume it's an in-text citation. I didn't highlight the other ones, but we'll just take a look at that one to make sure it's on your works cited page. Now, what should you do if you're going to put a visual there? We've already gone over this here, right? So if you have a visual, you need to provide me with source information at the bottom. Okay, it's no different from what you've done here. But here's what's going to happen. I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say you've not given me at least 2 pages of this 10 to 12 page report. That's not acceptable. I need you with nothing but text to get to 2 pages at least. Okay, again, that's not a lot to ask. You should have information from ONET that you can pull from, information from your job shadow that you can pull from, information from your follow-up interview that you can pull from. And so you need to get to at least 2 pages. Okay, that's just bottom line. And so make sure that you're going back and with that graphic removed, make sure that you can get to at least 2 solid pages, because right now you're not nearly close to that, and that's not going to work. Okay? And I see you have an in-text citation here for Govan. We'll just highlight that just to make sure we can find it. And let's just see your conclusion, your recommendations. I know that's not quite done yet. And so now when I'm looking at your works cited page, and again, let's just get it all on one page. We don't need the extra spaces. We can remove that. Okay, and I just want you to see what I'm doing here. I'm just taking away some of this extra space. So now we got it all on one page. We don't need the extra. Okay, and actually what you can do, and I might have covered this in a previous video, is highlight all of it, and then here under the paragraph setting, when it says spacing, I'm sorry, not spacing, but indentation, you want to go to hanging. Okay, and then click OK. What that does is whenever you have information that wraps around to the other line, it will automatically indent those subsequent lines. This is good for references and works cited pages because it lets you know where each new citation begins. Okay, and so I see Bureau of Labor Statistics, U.S. Department of Labor, Occupational Outlook Handbook, 2016-2017 edition. Okay, so I don't remember seeing an in-text citation for that in your report. And if it was there, it should have started with Bureau, right? Or Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now let me look again. Maybe I overlooked it. Maybe it is sitting right there. I know there were some in your introduction that we didn't highlight before. I see Best Choice. I see Registered Nurses, but I don't see Bureau. Okay, we're going to highlight it again. Okay, Best Choice. I see Registered Nurses. And Registered Nurses down there as well. Beacon Regis, Govan. Okay, so now this means that there's a plagiarism issue. Okay, this could sink your entire report. So either you need to um, include information from this source and use the correct in-text citation, which would be Bureau. Okay, or you need to remove it, get rid of it completely. Because if I see something on your references page and there is not an in-text citation for it, that's a problem. If you have an in-text citation for something and there is not a full citation on your references pages, that is a problem. Okay, it's a plagiarism. It's a big deal problem. Okay, I do see Govan, so that's correct. I do see registered nurse, that's correct. And I do see best choice, that's correct. But the other problem we've run into was with this Beacon Regis. Where is the full citation for this? It's not there. Okay, and you want to make sure that for that final draft that you fix that. Okay, because these two things could get you into big plagiarism issue trouble. Okay, plagiarism trouble. Okay, so we've gone through your report. If you have questions, please let me know. I would be happy to answer them for you, to clarify anything for you. I want you to be successful at this report, and so please get in contact with me as soon as possible, just to let me know, if there's anything I can clarify for you. Okay? All right. Thanks so much. I look forward to hearing from you.